right fly in the right place at the right time.
The Irish Tourist Board has produced 3 brochures on the best of Irish angling, game angling, coarse and pike fishing and sea fishing. These brochures and other details about angling in Ireland are available by writing to Angling, Irish Tourist Board, 150 to 151 New Bond Street, London W1Y OAQ. Next this morning on Channel 4, International Times looks at the vote for change, a new breed of man, and just what kind of solution can be found to solve the drugs problem in America.
Tom Cruise in Cocktail. Coming soon to all major video rental shops.
Do you know I can't wait for Sunday, September the 17th?
Neither can I. Won't it be joy and bliss?
Because you see, on that day, a new Quality Sunday newspaper is going to be launched.
I know, it's going to be absolutely marvellous, darling.
You shut up, I'm trying to be serious.
Yes, I'm being very serious, too.
I mean, it's going to be concise and manageable to read.
Manageable to read.
Won't be owned by a press baron.
It won't be owned by a press baron.
And it will be called...
Oh, the crowd are waiting agape. What will it be called? We're all dying to know, ladies and gentlemen.
Just leave it in there.
It's going to be called...
The Sunday Correspondent.
Recently, DuPont discovered people with great carpets had to make great saves. So DuPont developed Antron Stainmaster Carpet. Now, even if a stain like this soaks in for hours, it's a memory in minutes with Antron Stainmaster Carpet. Because you never know. Antron Stainmaster Carpet. Even dried-in stains come out.
Libby's Orange Umbango blended fruit juice drink. Yeah.
Channel 4's teletext service 4Tel offers you more from 4. All that's new on 4, including Channel 4's early morning television service, the Channel 4 Daily. A guide to all your favourite sport on 4 with up-to-the-minute results. There's background information on Channel 4's wide variety of arts and music programmes, plus news, reviews and listings of all the films on 4. So if you have a teletext set, call up the index on page 410 and get more from 4 with 4Tel.
Now we go to where the hippies meet the yuppies and where a man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Good morning and welcome to International Times. I'm Mike Hanna, reporting from Johannesburg. And the story from this part of the world this week is the South African elections and the violence surrounding them. The ruling National Party was mauled in voting for the White House of Assembly, losing seats to both left and right. But for the first time, more whites voted for change than against it, a fact that made the week's political violence all the more tragic. It was the biggest electoral loss suffered by the National Party in over 4 decades. Once safe government seats throughout the country fell to both left and right, and many of the nationalist wins were with sharply reduced majorities. At one stage in the evening, it appeared the government would even fall short of the 84 seats it required for an absolute majority. But a couple of nail-bitingly narrow wins saw it safely pass the unprecedented prospect of a hung parliament.
What's that?
What's the possibility of a hung parliament?
None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Despite nearly doubling its representation in Parliament, the Conservatives did less well than expected. Most observers had predicted a swing to the right of as much as 20%. The figure was in the region of 6.
We predicted that we would get about 60 seats, but on the other hand, we also predicted that there would be a hung parliament, and this the National Party very narrowly escaped. And the seats that hold them in power are very marginal. And in future, if there are by-elections, you simply may have a hung parliament in the near future if there are by-elections.
The Democratic Party, however, was jubilant. With a swing of more than 11% to the left, the Liberals gained some notable triumphs in the urban areas, and all 3 co-leaders safely won their seats.
The Democratic Party is on a winning streak, and we're moving from here on to the next election.
There's going to be an intensive debate about the future. Mr. van der Merwe's party is quite clear what it wants. I may not like it, but I know what he wants. And he can say the same about me. But what Mr. de Klerk wants is a fascinating riddle for everybody to keep guessing at.
This vote does signify a shift to the left. It does signify an almost doubling of the number of whites who voted for the Liberal opposition, without an increase in the right-wing support and without an increase for the National Party. But nevertheless, a diminished number of seats in Parliament for the National Party, which weakens it politically.
But the National Party also claimed victory, saying the right wing has been defeated once and for all. And today the acting president told ITN he now has a full mandate to institute political reform.
We had a good one. It was a win for renewal and reform, and we will tackle the mandate which we have been given with gusto and with confidence, and we'll make things happen in the next 5 years.
What will be your first act as state president, sir?
My first act will be to be inducted and then to make a speech in which I will be very much more specific than now as to how I see my task as state president.
Can we expect an initiative on reform, sir, to break the cycle of violence and mistrust?
The election was an initiative on reform already. Now we now have a mandate, and obviously from now on things will start happening.
But even as it became clear that the bulk of white voters were backing reform, violence in townships around Cape Town reached new heights. Security forces reacted strongly, and allegations of unlawful police action have come from community leaders and township residents. In response to stones thrown by part of the crowd, shotguns were used on a number of occasions. Church leaders claim that more than 20 people have been killed.
Mr. de Klerk's presidential seat now sits in a pool of blood. That, I think, more than anything else, ought to determine the man's agenda. If he does not move quickly in terms of what happened last night and early this morning, nothing of what he says, politically or otherwise, will have any meaning whatsoever.
And I hope very much that the incoming state president will very quickly